Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon. Gold Rush Rick Ness single again heading into season. Rick Ness has put out calls to hire people to work on his crew as he prepares to return to the gold mining industry this upcoming season. This will likely lead to him returning to Gold Rush as the filming should be starting soon. However, he probably won't be bringing his girlfriend with him this time around. Ness has seemingly announced that the two have split up yet again. Here's what we know. Gold Rush Rick Ness single again. In news that can't be much of a surprise to anyone, it looks like Gold Rush star Rick Ness is single once again. This has been a roller coaster ride for Rick and his one-time fiancée Ness. She worked with him on the show the last time he appeared on it. However, things have been up and down since then. The two broke up and then got back together. Rick then proposed to her and she announced it with a photo online where she was wearing the engagement ring while still standing in the jewelry store. However, just months later, she announced Rick had cheated on her and she broke up with him. Despite this news, she ended up getting back together with him around the holidays. While they were no longer engaged, the two were a couple once again. It was even Ness that let people know that Rick was coming back to Gold Rush next season, saying that was the plan. However, it now looks like she won't be coming back with him. In an Instagram post, Ness posted a photo of a new car. In the comments, she wrote, "Sue, I did another thing. This new chapter of being single, beyond happy, and finally finding myself again, is making me do exciting and new things. It's like a fresh start. Whether it lasts this time or not is another story." Rick Ness returning to Gold Rush next season. With or without Ness, Rick Ness is looking like he will return to Gold Rush next season. He appeared on one episode this season when his team went looking for him. They found him at home working on his car and not planning to return at all for that season. When asked about it, Rick admitted he was suffering from a form of seasonal depression. He also mentioned he hadn't been to his mother's house to clean it out since she died, and he was struggling to get his feet back under him again. However, with the new crew being hired, and with the disaster that was Fred Lewis' season on Gold Rush, there are high hopes that Rick will return next season and help elevate the show once again. Rick Ness, the rugged and determined miner from Discovery Channel's hit show Gold Rush, found himself at a crossroads as he prepared for another grueling season in the unforgiving wilds of the Klondike. With the frost still clinging to the ground and the distant mountains casting long shadows over the valley, Rick stood on the edge of a new chapter in his life, one marked by solitude and resilience. Just months earlier, Rick had ended a tumultuous relationship that had spanned several years. The decision to part ways had not been easy, but it had become increasingly clear that their paths were diverging. As the final echoes of their arguments faded into the past, Rick found himself confronting a future where the only certainty was the quest for gold. The sun was low in the sky, casting a golden hue over the landscape as Rick walked through the familiar terrain of his mining claim. The camp was bustling with activity, the sounds of machinery and the chatter of his crew filling the air. Despite the camaraderie and the shared goal of striking it rich, Rick felt a pang of loneliness, a sharp reminder of the personal sacrifices his chosen profession demanded. As he approached his bulldozer, Rick's thoughts drifted back to his early days in the mining business. He had always been drawn to the thrill of the hunt, the promise of hidden treasure buried beneath layers of earth and rock. The adrenaline rush of uncovering a rich pay streak was a feeling like no other, a sensation that had kept him coming back year after year. But now, standing on the precipice of another season, Rick wondered if he could continue to shoulder the weight of his dual roles as both miner and leader. His crew looked up to him for guidance and strength, and he was determined not to let them down. The thought of letting his personal life affect his professional responsibilities was unacceptable. With a deep breath, Rick climbed into the cab of his bulldozer and fired up the engine. The powerful machine roared to life, its vibrations coursing through his body. As he maneuvered the bulldozer into position, he focused on the task at hand, channeling his emotions into the work before him. The ground beneath him trembled as the blade bit into the earth, peeling back layers of soil to reveal the promise of gold. Hours passed, and the rhythmic hum of the machinery became a comforting backdrop to Rick's thoughts. He knew that mining was as much a mental challenge as it was a physical one. The long days and nights in the remote wilderness demanded a level of endurance and resilience that few possessed. But Rick was no stranger to hardship. He had faced adversity before and had emerged stronger each time. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a twilight glow over the camp, Rick took a moment to survey the progress they had made. The freshly exposed earth held the potential for riches beyond their wildest dreams, but it also held the unknown. The journey ahead would be fraught with obstacles, both natural and man-made. Returning to his tent, Rick found solace in the familiar routine of camp life. The smell of dinner wafted through the air, mingling with the scent of diesel and freshly turned earth. He joined his crew around the campfire, their faces illuminated by the flickering flames. Laughter and stories of past seasons filled the night, creating a sense of unity that bolstered Rick's spirits. As the fire crackled and the stars began to twinkle overhead, Rick's mind wandered to the future. He knew that being single again meant more than just the absence of a partner. It was an opportunity for self-discovery and growth. The solitude of the Klondike wilderness would provide the backdrop for his introspection, a place where he could reconnect with his passions and redefine his goals. The next morning, Rick rose with the dawn, ready to tackle another day of mining. The crisp air filled his lungs as he stepped out of his tent, invigorating him with a sense of purpose. He knew that every swing of the pickaxe, every scoop of the excavator, brought him one step closer to his dreams. With each passing day, Rick found strength in the challenges he faced. The rugged landscape tested his resolve, but it also reminded him of the beauty and majesty of the world around him. The call of a distant wolf, the rustle of leaves in the breeze, the shimmering reflection of the sun on a river. These were the moments that grounded him, that reminded him of the bigger picture. As the season progressed, Rick's determination never wavered. He worked tirelessly alongside his crew, driven by the vision of striking gold. The camaraderie they shared was a testament to their collective spirit, a bond forged through sweat, dirt, and perseverance. One evening, as the first hints of autumn began to color the landscape, Rick stood on a ridge overlooking the valley. The setting sun bathed the scene in a warm golden light, casting long shadows that danced across the ground.